You ever think about how weird first contact might be? Commander Rick Carter spun his chair around, sipping from a can of Red Bull. The faint hum of the spaceship surrounded him as he leaned back, boots kicked up on the console. I think about how weird it is that you drink that radioactive sugar water at 2 a.m., Lieutenant Jake Reynolds muttered, adjusting the ship's scanners. Seriously, do you even know what's in that? Caffeine. Taurine. A hint of regret. Rick grinned, taking another sip. It smells like battery acid, Dr. Emily Harper chimed in, her eyes glued to the hollow display of the alien planet below. I'd rather drink engine coolant. Engine coolant won't give you wings. Rick shot back. Neither will that. Jake snorted. The three of them sat aboard the Odyssey, observing the planet Vale 7, home to the Veylians, a peaceful pre-industrial species. Their mission? Observe, study, and, most importantly, not interfere. Then the ship jolted slightly. Not much. Just enough. Enough for Rick's hand to twitch. Enough for his can of Red Bull to slip from his grip. They all watched, frozen, as the silver and blue can tumbled lazily through the air. It hit the edge of the console, bounced once, and then, in a moment of absolute cosmic betrayal, it slipped right through the ventilation slot. Silence. The three of them just stared. Tell me that didn't just... Jake started. It didn't, Rick said weakly. Emily slapped the emergency scanner controls, eyes wide. Oh my God. It's falling. It's actually falling. The Kim was now caught in Vale 7's gravity, tumbling down toward the planet like some caffeinated meteor. Rick finally spoke. So, first contact. Jake buried his face in his hands. Oh, we're so getting court-martialed. Meanwhile, on the surface of Vale 7, an alien named Zarn was about to have the most confusing day of his life. Zarn was having a normal day. A perfectly normal, boring day. The sun was warm, the sky was clear, and he was doing what he always did, gathering glow fruits near the riverbank, minding his own business. Then the sky coughed. That was the only way he could describe it. A soft, whispery sound, followed by a faint whoosh. He looked up just in time to see a silver object tumbling from the heavens, spinning end over end. Zarn's forefingers tightened around his basket. What in the name of the grapevines? The object hit the soft dirt right in front of him, rolling slightly before coming to a stop. He took a step back, staring at it like it might suddenly sprout legs and bite him. It was strange, smooth, metallic. Not a rock, not a seed, not anything he had ever seen before. Cylindrical in shape, with weird symbols printed on it in an alien script. Some parts were red, some blue, and there was a bizarre image of two beasts with horns locked in battle. Zarn gulped. He had heard stories of things falling from the sky, usually bad omens, messages from the spirits, or warnings from the ancients. His friend Lyre was nearby, hacking away at a stubborn root with a stone blade. Zarn called out, trying to keep the panic out of his voice. Lyre, I need you to come look at this. Right now. Lyre wiped his brow and sighed. Zarn, if this is about another weird-shaped rock, I swear to the ancients. It's not a rock, Zarn interrupted, waving his arms frantically. Something fell from the sky. Lyre groaned but trudged over. The moment he laid eyes on the mysterious object, his annoyed expression vanished. Oh, that's definitely not a rock. They both crouched down, staring at it like it might explode. Zarn cautiously poked it with a stick. It made a hollow, clinking noise. Lyre flinched. That was probably a mistake, Lyre whispered. Why? Do you think it's dangerous? Lyre hesitated. I think we should take it to the elders before one of us dies. Zarn narrowed his eyes. You think it's a weapon? Lyre looked at the strange alien markings again. The battling creatures. The bold, unreadable script. He gulped. I think it's a challenge. The village square was bustling when Zarn and Lyre arrived, carrying the mysterious object like it was a sacred relic or an unexploded bomb. Elder Mora, the wisest and grumpiest of the council, squinted at them as they approached. Why do you two look like you just angered a storm beast? Zarn carefully placed the object on the stone table before the gathered elders. Something fell from the sky. The elders leaned in, murmuring among themselves. Elder Jex, a hunched, sharp-eyed Veylian, prodded the can with a clawed finger. Metal, not natural. Elder Morris snorted. Obviously. The question is, what does it mean? Liar, who had spent the entire walk convincing himself this was either a divine test or the start of an alien invasion, took a deep breath. We think it might be a challenge. Silence. Then Elder Vosk, a large, slow-speaking Veylian, tilted his head. A challenge? Liar pointed at the two horned beasts locked in combat on the strange object. Look at the symbols. Two creatures fighting. It was thrown from the sky. What if an unknown force is testing us? The elders exchanged glances. Some nodded, some stroked their chins. Elder Mora exhaled loudly. By the spirits, this is ridiculous. Zarn, who had spent the entire time panicking internally, blurted out, "What if it's food?" All eyes turned to him. "What?" Liar hissed. "You think the sky spirits are sending us snacks?" Zarn shrugged. "It's just it doesn't look like a weapon. It's small, it's lightweight, and there's a weirdly satisfying shape to it. Like it's meant to be held." He lifted the object. "What if it's something meant to be consumed?" Elder Jex tapped his chin. "An offering?" Elder Morris scoffed. "Or poison." Liar nodded sagely. "Exactly. That's why Zarn should drink it first." Zarn choked. "What? Why me?" Liar patted his back. "Because, my friend, you were the one blessed enough to find it." Zarn looked at the elders, then at the crowd gathering around them, and realized he had made a terrible mistake. Zarn gulped as the entire village stared at him, waiting. Elder Mora crossed her arms. "Well, if it's food, prove it." Zarn glanced at Liar, who gave him an encouraging and deeply untrustworthy thumbs up. "Fine," Zarn muttered. "But if I die, I'm haunting you." With trembling fingers, he pried at the top of the strange container. Nothing happened. He tried again, gripping harder. Still nothing. Elder Jex frowned. "Perhaps it requires a ritual to unlock." Liar smirked. "Or maybe you're just weak." Scowling, Zarn gave it one last, desperate yank. PSSHHHHHHHHD. A violent hiss erupted from the can, followed by a furious spray of golden liquid. Zarn shrieked and nearly dropped it as the fizzy substance spewed into the air, splattering his face. The crowd gasped. "It's attacking him," someone yelled. Liar dubbed behind a fruit cart. The elders stumbled back. Several villagers grabbed spears. Zarn, meanwhile, stood there, absolutely drenched, blinking as the strangely sweet scent filled the air. The liquid dribbled down his chin. He hesitated, then tentatively licked his lips. His eyes widened. He swallowed. "It's good." Liar peeked out from behind the cart. "Wait, you're not dead?" Zarn ignored him. His fingers tightened around the metal as he lifted it to his lips and took a deep, reckless gulp. The reaction was instantaneous. A jolt shot through his body like lightning. His vision sharpened. The world felt brighter, clearer. His heart raced. No, it thundered. His mind, once sluggish and filled with the usual haze of exhaustion, now buzzed like 1,000 fireflies on a warm night. He gasped. "I can see through time." The crowd collectively took a step back. Elder Mora narrowed her eyes. "Explain." Zarn spun around, his energy level skyrocketing. "Everything makes sense now. The patterns in the stars. The rhythm of the rivers. The way the birds sing at dawn." He grabbed Liar's shoulders, shaking him. "I understand math." Liar paled. "Ancients help us." Zarn couldn't stop moving. His limbs tingled. He dashed 10 feet to the left before his own brain could catch up. "I am speed." He ran a circle around the village in 3 seconds flat. The elders watched, eyes wide, as Zarn skidded to a halt, panting. "We have to find more of this." The Veylians murmured among themselves. Was this a gift from the heavens? A forbidden elixir? A source of godly power? Elder Jex nodded solemnly. "We must understand its secrets." Elder Morris sighed. "Well, congratulations, Zarn. You just became the first Veylian to get addicted to alien nectar." Zarn grinned wildly. "And I feel amazing." Liar rubbed his temples. "This is the beginning of the end." The next day, everything had changed. Zarn was no longer just Zarn. He had become an oracle of wisdom, an unstoppable force of energy. Every few minutes, he was spotted running in circles, yelling about how the stars were vibrating or how the ancients were trying to communicate through the clouds. The village had officially gone mad, and Zarn was their new hero. Liar, however, was not impressed. "Zarn, I need you to calm down," he said, his voice strained. "You've been running nonstop for the last 12 hours. Zarn whipped around, his eyes wide with that same frenzied excitement. "You don't understand, liar. We've only just scratched the surface. The liquid, no, the elixir, is a key to unlocking everything. The universe is literally in motion, and we can be a part of it." Liar buried his face in his hands. "I really regret suggesting you try it. The elders were no better." "We need more," Elder Mora declared, her voice firm. "Zarn says it opens doors to the beyond, and I believe him." "We have no idea what's in that can," Elder Voss pointed out, holding up a vial of the strange liquid, which now had a somewhat ominous glow. "It's not just liquid," Zarn shouted, his voice as sharp as a comet's tail. "It's inspiration, power, strength, the secret to understanding the universe itself." The village was in an uproar. Zarn had become a legend, a prophet, and worst of all, an addict. He couldn't stop drinking it. In fact, no one could. Within a few days, the entire village had embraced the mysterious can. Liar, who had thankfully avoided the substance, now watched in horror as his neighbors, friends, and family became red-eyed energy machines, fueled by the ever-elusive Red Bull. One day, Zarn, still shaking with exhilaration, approached Liar with a new idea. "Liar, what if we spread this across the planet? We'll be unstoppable." Liar stared blankly at his friend. Are you even hearing yourself right now?" Zarn grinned, his teeth practically glowing. "You don't understand. We will build the greatest empire this world has ever known. And we'll do it on energy. We'll fuel every soldier, every scientist, every artist. No more sluggish thinking, no more lazy days. We'll make the Veylians the fastest, smartest, and most powerful race in the galaxy." Liar ran a hand through his hair. "Yeah, but we might also make them crazy. You've seen what's happening to them." Zarn waved him off. "It's evolution, my friend. They'll be fine once they get used to it." Liar didn't share Zarn's optimism. He watched as the village leaders gathered around Zarn, nodding with fervor, eyes glazed with excitement. "What if they're not ready for what comes next?" he whispered to himself. Zarn, meanwhile, had already formulated a plan to launch the first Red Bull-powered space program, convinced that this was the secret to conquering the stars. "To the moon," he shouted. "To the sun. To other galaxies." And so it began. A planet united by an energy drink. A once humble beverage that would now fuel a race of beings eager to conquer, not just their world, but the entire cosmos. In the blink of an eye, the Veylians had gone from peaceful farmers to an unstoppable force of nature. But there was one tiny problem. No one had any idea what the long-term effects of this power surge might be. As the first ships powered by Red Bull prepared for takeoff, Zarn turned to Liar, his face glowing with pride. "It's happening. We're unstoppable now. The universe will know our name." Liar just looked up at the sky. "If we're lucky, we might just survive it."